All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Tuesday. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed on this beautiful day. And Bitcoin, guys, is getting a little bit of volatility here. Bitcoin getting a little bit of volatility right over here. You can see, well, we'll go over what happened. Shout out to the Casper crew. All right, let everyone know I was in this long trade earlier this morning. And also, huge shout out to Boyan, who also gave the long in advance in the Casper crew VIP Discord. So we are in a little bit of a long here. I just hit a take profit one. This is a very important area we are coming up to right now. A critical area for Bitcoin. This is very, very critical. Depending on what happens here, guys, could determine whether we see a large move to the upside because we have some very interesting levels to the upside, or this area right here in between these two white lines could be the place where we see les rejections. All right, les rejections. And right now, it looks like maybe we are getting a little bit of a rejection, which means I need to, this is, you know, this exchange is a little bit clunky, all right? It's a little bit clunk, man. But there's some good solutions coming for this thing, okay? There's some good solutions coming for this thing. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Who do we got in the chat? Shout out to Chip Chocolate. Yo, Chip Chocolate, we came up to your level 2 the dang dollar yesterday, my man. Okay, music is too loud. We'll lower the music. We'll lower the music. Let me know how that is, all right? How's that? Hang on. Oh, wow, I see it's too loud. My bad, guys, my bad. Music too loud. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. How's that? Let me know. How's the music now? All right. Shout out to my man Splashfire Films. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to Chip Chocolate. Shout out to Dr. Rex. Shout out to FitGenius618. Shout out to Michael Vandervoort. What did he say? I said Bitcoin is coming up to a very key area. All right. Long setup, given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Hit a take profit one right here for $1,000 quick profit. And a few days ago we hit a $2,000 take profit. So now I'm just letting the rest of this thing ride here as we're trading in a little range. This white box, guys, is the line in the sand for Bitcoin. We could see a very intense push to the upside from this area. And honestly, I do think this is also a critical moment in the 4-year cycle period. And I'm not just saying this to be sensational. We're going to be going through the charts, and we're going to be building a bullish and a bearish scenario so that we can be prepared for whatever happens, no matter what. All right, Dave Digital says now the music's too low. Man. All right. You can never please everybody, guys. You can never please everybody. I'm also not a DJ. All right, shout out to Aaron G. Smash the like. Shout out to Inspiring Vibes. Shout out to Muhammad. He says, please pump song, sing for us. Maybe we will. Jay Armos in a little short scalp. That's a great trade to be in. In fact, the short also, a short scalp for this area, was also a trade setup that we gave this morning in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, guys. So if you want to be ready for these moves before they happen, make sure to check out JasonCasperTrading.com. It is the best trading community in the world. We have multiple instructors giving you the juice, baby, for, in my opinion, a very reasonable and cheap price. All right. Who else we got in here right now? I'm prepared to short 39,999. Okay. Now it's too loud. Crap, man. What is going on? All right. Sorry, guys. How about now? All right. How about now? All right. I'm trying to make it quiet here. All right. This is where we'll leave it. This is where we will leave it right here. Okay. This is where we will leave it right here. So Chris Cal sold everything at 70K. Did you do well? Yeah. I mean, hey, if you bought Bitcoin below 20K, sub 20K, then yeah, you did well. You did well. All right. Shout out to Seek Parabolic. Shout out to G Joe. Shout out to Prolet Atanasova. Shout out to Sid Sharma. Shout out to Manuraj Enterprises. Shout out to Tommy Luck. Shout out to Ram Z's. Shout out to TY Fox. Shout out to Aaron G holding it down with a wrench. Shout out to Dave Digital. Says music way too low. Well, the music's it's gonna be where it's gonna be, I guess, man. I don't know. All right, I don't know. Okay. But anyway, let's discuss what's been happening with this Bitcoin price action here. I'm still in that long trade from yesterday as well. I have closed out completely of one of my short trades from yesterday. The other one I had open on ZOOMEX, I closed that one out. I made enough money on that. We're at very key support. I've closed that one out. The only short trade, well, actually, yeah, I've closed it out completely. All right, I've closed it out completely. So now I'm long and short on Bitcoin. My longs, you know, I'm not trading with the biggest size here. Compared to what I was doing back in the spring. You guys saw me with hundreds of thousands of dollars on trades, even sometimes $1 million on a position, but I'm just kind of easing my way back into the trading game, guys. You know, I've kind of taken it easy over the summer so far. I haven't really traded very much. You know, May, June, July, haven't really traded much. I'm easing my way back into it. I want to discuss what is happening on these charts, because there is still hope for this this crypto bull run. All right. By the way, guys, if you want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins, MEXC and BLOFIN are my two go-to exchanges. BLOFIN does not require KYC. MEXC does require KYC. So depending on where you're at, that is going to determine where you trade. I love MEXC because of the fees, but the reality is, if you cannot KYC, then you know, you might have trouble trading on that. All right. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. We're going to start on these higher term time frames. All right. Start on the daily here. So, objectively speaking, guys, I would say this. Objectively speaking right now, things look more bearish than bullish on the higher term time frames because of the monthly confirmed bearish divergence, because of the 2 monthly shooting star candle. These are things that we looked at yesterday, and again, I'm not spreading FUD. I'm not trying to be sensational. The reality is, right now, we have never seen a 2-month bearish shooting star candle, and we have a confirmed bearish div on the monthly. And when we look at the weekly time frame, well, momentum is coming out again, all right? These are the bearish signs on the higher term time frames, which leads me to believe that the top of the cycle is either, not the top of the cycle, but the top for this bull run is either in or close to being in, like we've seen from previous bull markets. And we're going to be looking at some different indicators to just go over exactly what is happening right now. But when we look at, historically speaking, on the Bitcoin all-time index, all right, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off all this stuff here. Bitcoin all-time index, when we get a bearish div on the monthly, we had one right here. We had one right here. We had one right here. Okay? This means the top is either in, like it was right here, or the top is close to being in, like it was right here. Now, during our last cycle, we got that first monthly bear div, and then we got one last push to make a higher high before the top was in. So what I am looking at right now on the monthly MarketCipher B, as I've said before, is going to be this 60 level on the momentum, right? As long as the momentum wave holds above that 60 line on the monthly, I'd say we are good. Historically speaking, we can expect more upside, even if there are some very bearish signs forming on the monthly. Historically speaking, as long as we hold the momentum waves, and I'm talking about this thing right here, as long as this can hold above this white 60 line, that means we are still good for more upside. Once we lose that, that is where the catastrophic dump comes in. All right? Basically, we can expect consolidation and or more upside until we lose that 60 line. And once we lose the 60 line, that's where we saw a 70% correction there. And once we lose the 60 line, this is where we saw a 70% correction there. Okay? So this is going to be, at least for me and my high term time frame the way I'm playing this on the high term time frames, especially as it pertains to my spot portfolio, is looking at this monthly momentum here. All right, looking at this monthly momentum. Now, when we come back to the weekly, is there some hope here for a bullish move on Bitcoin from this area? I'd say the answer is yes, there is some hope. What things do I want to see to expect another big push to the upside? Well, the first thing that we need to recognize is we are holding support here. All right, this is a key level right here. This is a level that we had literally since January in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, aware that this is a very key level, right? It's a very clear support resistance flip. And on top of that, we came down to bounce from the Fibonacci golden pocket, all right? When we go to the daily time frame, this is the time frame we need to be watching for right now. Here's why. If we confirm a green dot within the next few days with continued bull div, that to me means we are getting a move to the upside. It does not mean we're going to go for a new all-time high, but it does mean we're going to get a move to the upside. I say that with such confidence because this was a bullish divergence on the daily. That gave us a huge move to the upside. This was a bearish divergence on the daily. That gave us a huge move to the downside. This was a bearish divergence on the daily. It gave us a huge move to the downside. And so, if we confirm another bullish divergence on the daily, I would expect another move to the upside. And that move is either going to give us another lower high, or, dare I say it, finally wreck all the farting Bitcoin bears. All right, I almost said freaking, but I don't want to say freaking on YouTube, all right? Now, all right, let's check on how our... So yeah, look, if we confirm that green dot on the daily, I'd say we get another big push to the upside. So let's discuss a few other things here. Over the weekend, would you look at this, guys? The Friday candle was extremely bearish, and then over Saturday we dumped. What am I saying? The Friday candle was extremely bearish, leaving behind this giant CME futures gap on the chart here. All right, giant CME futures gap on the chart. Friday candle closed, and then Sunday candle opens up, and we left behind this huge gap. What does that mean? Well, a lot of times we see these gaps fill. Right, a lot of times we see these gaps fill. And so what does that mean? That means that we have a $62,945 gap that could fill. And if we go ahead and we take our fib from the last high, that major high, to the low, you can see that it lines up perfectly with the Fibonacci golden pocket retest. So we could see a very significant move on Bitcoin coming up to around close to that $63,000 area. And that $63,000 area is going to be the very key line in the sand where either we reject and it turns out we're just going to continue making lower lows and lower highs, or we actually reclaim and go for the highs again. Now, look, can we know which one is going to happen? We cannot. But here's the thing. We cannot get into the mindset of only being bearish or only being bullish. We have to understand the different scenarios that could happen here. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the monthly time frame. Remember, how are we assessing which is more probable to happen? Number one, the monthly time frame. Is that momentum wave above or below the 60 line? If it's above the 60 line, we can say we can still look for more upside. And then we go to our weekly time frame. The weekly time frame, now this could take a long time to happen now, but at least on the CME futures chart, there's a potential for a bull divergence on the weekly time frame. That's very, very interesting. All right. Then we look to the daily time frame. The daily time frame is going to be our first sign of strength here. If we can get a green dot on the weekly time frame, just like what we got over here, then that, in my opinion, will give us a big push to the upside. Now, we cannot know exactly what is, how, or when this is going to happen, but these are what we want to look for on the higher term time frames. This is what we want to look for on the higher term time frames. And Also, this is in the context, guys, we have to understand, this is also in the context of us holding key support, right? We have key support right here. We're holding so far. There's the potential for a move to the upside. Higher term time frames definitely look bearish. They definitely look bearish, so we can say to ourselves, the top is in or close to being in. We could look for a double top on Bitcoin, preferably a higher high than what we made back here. And as we watch these lower time frames start to become bullish again, like the daily, then we can say, all right, I'm going to be looking for a long entry here, and I'm going to target back to the top of the range, or at least, depending on where we get our long entry from, at least to this area, right? So if we come to the chart one day and the daily has a green dot, and we say that's a bullish div on the daily, then depending on where the price is, maybe we go to a lower time frame. And when we're doing our TA for the day, let's say the Bitcoin price is right around here, right? When we're doing our TA for the day, let's say we have a range here, and we have a plan to come and basically take the liquidity of the local range into the support resistance flip. Then we can say, okay, I have myself a good trade setup here, a very good trade setup here, and I know where my target is, I know where my stop loss is, and I understand that this trade could turn into something more based on all these time frames, right? Because every successful trade, a successful trade doesn't mean it's a winning or a losing trade. A successful trade has three things. It has a reason for entry. You need to have a reason to get into the trade. In this case, hypothetical bullish divergence on the daily mixed with a local liquidity grab, right? That's our reason for the entry. You have to have a stop loss. Where's your idea wrong? In this hypothetical scenario, your stop loss is wrong if this liquidity grab happens, and then instead of continuing to the upside, it's just a dead cat bounce, and then we just do that so you know when to get out. And then you have your target, and this target is based on a high time frame Fibonacci level confluence with a CME gap. And so this is how I would be looking to get into trades in the events of more bullish signs printing on the chart. And I have to say, like I always do, I would be holding portion of the position to new highs, as I do. You guys see me trade this way all the time. I take profit one and then I hold portion of the trade, right? Like for example, right now over in the long trade I'm in right now from the setup, not that setup, from this setup that we gave in the Casper crew, you know, I've taken a profit one on it, locked in a nice $1,000, and now I'm letting the rest ride here, right? Letting the rest ride. And let's see what can happen with Bitcoin today, because yesterday was a bullish day, and Mondays have lately been setting the stage for the rest of the week. All right, they have been setting the stage for the rest of the week. Alrighty. So yeah, daily's looking kind of nice here. The 12-hour looking like, yeah, retracement to the upside is in the cards, is in the order book, should I say. The 4-hour looking sketch. All right, the 4 hours looking sketch. This is sketch, right? Sketch. Now let's take a look at the volume that we've got going on here as well. Okay, wow. Yeah, so guys, I mean, everything lines up perfectly. The CME gap, the value area low, the support resistance flip right around 63K. This level at 62.5 to 63K is going to be so important. The value area low of the macro range, as well as the golden pocket, as well as the CME gap. So we really need to be watching for just a retracement and then more downside, right? That is definitely something that we need to watch for. All right, here we go, baby. Bitcoin pumping. Bitcoin pumping. Let's check it out. Now, there's a few other levels we need to be aware of as well. Yeah, the farting Bitcoin bears quicker. Yeah, for sure. 57.3 is key. Yeah, that's the next level I want to talk about. 57K. Let's go back to TradingView quick here, and let's take a look at. Let's take a look. We're gonna go to like the 2-day. Let's go to the 2-day here. Look at this. Talk about some high time frame stuff. We pull everything from the last 2 years, and This level right here, 57K, is the macro value area high, like the macro value area high of the last 2 cycles. All right, the last 2 cycles. And so that is going to be where we, if we can hold above, can also look for more upside. But look at the gravity of the situation here. If we reject from 57K, or Chip Chocolate says 57.3, that area, Chip Chocolate definitely is precise with his level. So let's say 57.3, we reject from here. You can see how bearish that would look, because it's showing us that the market is, the price is getting acceptance back inside this old massive range that we've been trading literally since 2020, like December 2020. It's crazy, right? The end of December 2020. So that could give us much more downside here. Down to the POC at 47.2 at least, right? If we reject from 57.3 or 57, then we are looking to a move down to 47. And then honestly, guys, like the worst case, like I said yesterday, like the black swan bearish case scenario would be to come back down toward the range value area low around the low 30s, high 20s, just trading the range. And not saying it's going to happen, guys. This is just the levels that we need to be aware of, right? When you're aware of these very high term time frame levels, it can really give you a better perspective of, I guess, when to take profits, or if your trade should be viewed as like a day trade, or a scalp trade, or a swing trade, or a spring trade, or a ding trade. This music is too slow for me, guys. This music is just too slow for me. Hang on. What is this? What is this? What kind of we need some. Yeah, we need something like this. We at least need drums. All right, we can't get too ethereal. We can't get too ethereal here. All right, let's pop into the chat. TY Fox says, grab your plungers, chat. Guys, grab your dang plungers. Grab your plungers, grab your Pikachu hats. All right, it's about to get real up in here. All right, Brett PG says, this is my 5th cycle. Wow, man. That's insane, bro. You've been here from the beginning. You must be rich. All right, Chip Chocolate says, that's the range I have, but it's also the yearly value area low too. Oh, wow. All right, so 57.3 is the yearly value area low. And so Chip Chocolate is saying, not only is it the macro value area high, right? 57K, so important. So important. Not only is it the macro value area high, but if we look at the volume, and I'm assuming you're on ByBit, but if we look at it from the beginning of January, it's also the value area low of the year. All right, I guess on ByBit it's 58.4. Maybe you're on a different exchange. Whatever the case, we understand this is so key. And then if we can come above that, then we are going to get a move up to 63K. Fill that CME gap, hit into the golden pocket, and then that's the next level decision. Right? So look, if this daily gives us a nice bull div soon, and if we're reclaiming this area, within the next few days, we could look for a setup, something like this, right? We could look for a trade setup. If we get a reclaim of that level, we could look for some kind of, this is like hypothetical, right? But we could look for something like that and potentially higher. But first, we got to get above this green box at 57. And then 63 is going to be key level, guys. I mean, man, it's going to be so dang key. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 900 people in here. We have 100 likes. Let's see. We've been on for 24 minutes. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. If we can get 1,000 likes in 10 minutes, we are going to give away $1,000. All right, a thousand likes in 10 minutes. We'll give away $1,000. We only need 50 more people in here, so tell your mom and your dad and your friends and your sister to come on in. Ben, he says, hello, do you do lives every day? I don't know. No, I'm actually even going to be away next week. I don't even know if I'm going to be live. All right. Shout out to Cipher Gaming. He says 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute bearish divs at the local high. Looks for a juicy short. What do you think? Yes. Yes, I mean, absolutely, right? This is definitely a loss of the CDW level right here. It means valid short setup. Valid short setup, as we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord this morning, just like we gave the long setup in the Casper Crew VIP Discord this morning. When I said I'm already in this trade, we got both divs on the 12-minute as long as we hold that POC, and bam! We hit that nice target for a juicy TP Uno, baby. Shout out to Guga Ninua, who says hello from Georgia. How much capital did you have in... How much start capital did I have in my trading journey? A lot, man. I had a lot of trading capital in my trading journey. Because, shout out to Preparing for War, front running... Yeah, the real level is 57K. That's the real level. The key level right here. Yeah, I had a lot of capital in my trading journey to start because when I was a younger man, 25-ish, 26, I put my whole life savings into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was around 600 bucks. And I ended up making a lot of money from that. And so I had Bitcoin to trade with. And then I lost a ton of money learning how to trade because I didn't learn the proper way. All right? Didn't learn the proper way. Is it a good idea to start a long right now? Look, I can't tell you what to do, man. Do you have a plan? Do you have an idea to start a long now? Like, I personally would only be looking for a short from this area. To me, this is a short zone. All right. But do you have a plan to long here? If you do, who am I to tell you whether or not it's a good idea or a bad idea? I don't know. There's plenty of times I have ideas and they suck. All right. There's plenty of times I have ideas and they suck. Look, here's all that matters. This is, I know this sounds crazy to people, but you've got to understand, when it comes to trading, the only three things that matter are, number one, do you have a plan to take a trade here? And if the answer is yes, then you need to know how much capital you're risking. You need to know where your invalidation point is so that you get stopped out losing the amount of money you've already predetermined to lose. And then you need to know where your target is. And that target should be earning you more money than you risked on the trade. All right? Should be earning you more money than you risked on the trade. So this trade here, originally, I was risking about 450-ish bucks on this trade. All right? When I hit my take profit one, I made $1,100. What does that mean? That means on my take profit one, I made twice the amount of money that I risked. Which means I can now take 2 losses and be at a break even for the day, right? I could take 3 trades, 1 win at a partial take profit, 2 losses and be break even for the day, right? So if you have a plan to long here, let's say your plan is this, right? You're going to long here. You're going to tell yourself, well, if we make a lower low, I'm going to get out of the trade. And then I'm going to shoot for my target at $57,300. What does this do? This means you know where you're entering your trade. Let's say you're going to risk 1% or 0.5% of your account, right? And then you're shooting for a 5-to-1 risk-reward ratio, meaning when you hit that take profit, you're making 5 times more money than what you risked. You're risking 0.5% to make 2.5%. That's a good idea, regardless of whether or not it's a winning trade, because you're either going to win or you're going to lose the trade. But if you have multiple trades, right? Let's say you do a few trades throughout the day and they're all basically the same, like good risk reward ratio. They all have a plan, right? Let's say you win 2 of them. You just made 5%. You win 2 trades, you make 5%. You lose 2, you lose 1%, right? You're risking 0.5% to make 2.5%. Take 4 trades in a day. You win 2, you lose 2. you're up overall 4% on the day with a 50% win rate. That's the way you got to look at it, right? That's the way you got to look at it. And you can't get emotional about it either. You have to say, I have a valid setup, I have a valid idea, I have a valid stop loss, I have a valid target. Let's go for it. Whatever happens, happens, you know? And look, I love to get emotional when I trade. I do. You guys see it on here. But even though I let the emotions run wild, behind the emotion is a strategy that I know over time is going to keep me from getting wrecked, right? It's fun to get emotional. It's fun to like it to pump. If you're short, it's fun to watch it dump. But as long as you are abiding by those principles that I just laid out here, you're going to be all right, right? So I can't answer whether or not it's a good idea for you to do it. Only you can answer that, all right? But if you abide by what I just laid out here, you're going to be all right in the long run, okay? You're going to be all right in the long run. What I just gave you is a valid idea. Whether or not it's good or bad, ask 20 different people in chat. They'll all give you a different answer, all right? So, wow, we got 1,000 people in here. We got 300 likes. All right, if everyone can like the dang stream, guys, we are going to give away $1,000, all right? How long to become a profitable trader? Honestly, that depends on the person. For me, it took way too long, all right? Because I did not do what I just told you to do, right? The risk management is so key. And risk management involves how much are you risking per trade and how much are you shooting to make per trade. That is the key thing. The risk management is number one. Number two is any kind of strategy, right? Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku. You got Ichimokus all over yourself. Just itch those mookies, right? Maybe you're using a dang moving average crossover strategy, whatever it is. You need to have something that says, do I have a trade or do I not have a trade, right? So if you combine an algorithm of sorts that's telling you, yes, I have a trade, no, I don't have a trade. If you combine that with good risk management, over time you're going to be good, right? The problem is people come in here and they don't implement the most basic steps to protect their capital and then be profitable. And so you could lose half your dang stack in like 2 trades. And if you lose 50% of your capital and you make back 50%, you're still net 25% in the red. If I have $100 and I lose 50%, now I have $50, right? If I make 50% after my 50% loss, now I only make $25, and so I'm still down 25%. I only have $75, you know? All right, shout out to Lolo who double liked. Why is $57,000 a key level? All right. Well, for the main reason I'm looking at 57, all right, is because it is the value area low of the, it's the value area high of the 2-year range on Bitcoin. So going all the way back to December 2020, or maybe January 2021, however you want to look at it. Basically 4 years of price action. This is the value area high. What does that mean? That means if we fail to reclaim the level, the price is gaining acceptance back inside this massive fair value zone right here, which means we could get sucked down to $47,000 at that high volume node. And if we lose that, we could see lower prices potentially coming down to the low 30s. All right. Additionally, and shout out to Chip Chocolate, but the value area low of the yearly range, right? So going back to January to our current day is right here at around that $57,000-ish level as well. So there's 2 major confluences here. Basically, we're struggling to break out of this very macro range, and then we would be struggling to gain acceptance back inside the more local range, right? So this is very important resistance right here. Very important resistance. Resistance. All right. How do you enter the $1,000 giveaway? Well, you gotta like the stream, guys. But we only have 34 seconds left here. All right. We only have 34 seconds left here to get 1,000 likes. You know. So look, I think in the winter time, in the fall and the winter, I'm gonna be doing a free trading course on here. All right. Shout out to Thor in the stream, man. What's up, Thor? I think I'm gonna be doing a free trading course on YouTube in a few months. All right. let's see what you guys have to say in the chat here. First of all, major shout out to our super chats. John Ingram to look at Philcoin. Yeah, we'll look at Philcoin. We'll look at Philcoin for John Ingram. And then let's see here. Most of you guys say we will see a $60,000 Bitcoin this week. I'm kind of in that camp as well. All right. All right, let's start a new poll. We're going to start a new poll. All right, let's see. Should I do a free trading course on YouTube? All right, should I do a free trading course on YouTube? Let me know in the poll. All right, this poll will determine my thought. Wow, surprisingly, most people say yes. All right. If you say no, let me know why in the chat. All right. Let me know in the chat. All right, we got to look at Philcoin for my man. That's not fair. We have 1,000 viewers and you ask for 1,000 likes. Some people are such a demonic strategy to have likes. Okay. All right, man. I don't know. Look, I do this every single video. Okay. I do it every single video. Shout out to Crypto Scarface. Look, if you want to win, go tell your friends to come like and follow, subscribe, click the bell, all those good things. All right. All right. I'm sorry that I like to, look, all I'm asking for is people to like the dang video. I'm trying to give away $1,000. All right, that is pretty wild. Okay. I mean, I say this sincerely, but who else? What other crypto YouTuber regularly gives away thousands of dollars? Right? I've given away thousands of dollars on this YouTube channel just for people liking the video. All right. Hello, Jason, says Crypto Scarface. I've been following your channel for years, and now I can say with confidence that you and White Phoenix are the best traders I've seen. Shout out to White Phoenix. Thank you so much for your super chat. All right. Let's take a look at Philcoin for my good friend in the super chat. All right, so here's the deal with Philcoin. We are coming down to a major area of support. Major area of support on Philcoin. Filecoin, or whatever you want to call it. Phil and Lil Coin. We're coming down, basically grabbing the liquidity from this series of lows, and we got some bullish divs on the daily. We've got some bull divs on the weekly with money flow crossing up, okay? This is either going to be an amazing opportunity for Philcoin right now, or look at this. I mean, like, I'm just going to be honest here, all right? I always try to be honest. As long as we don't see massive dump throughout, if Bitcoin can continue to rally, this is an amazing opportunity to potentially get some fill, because we're back down at the lows, all right? We're back down at the lows, which means there's more upward potential than downward potential. I mean, even if we just go back to that previous high, it's still a 5-to-1 risk reward. If we come up to a $26 fill, that's a 16-to-1 risk reward. If we go toward the highs, we're talking like an 85-to-1 risk reward. All right, this has been my overall strategy on Filecoin throughout the entirety of the triangle. Accumulate in the triangle, look for a big push to the upside, right? So that's what I think about Philcoin. The weekly time frame looks good to me. But you know, the weekly time frames have been looking good for a lot of altcoins. Like I just bought a whole bunch of Matic because of the weekly time frame, and it hasn't made me any money yet. All right, hasn't made me any money yet. It's lost me money, but we're coming back, right? I bought Matic. When did I buy it? I guess last week or something after this thing printed. So I bought Matic here. I'm down, right? So take that for what it is. Bitcoin took a huge dump. That's going to bring the alts with it. So right now, I'm personally not really interested in alts. I want to see what Bitcoin does first. If Bitcoin starts to confirm bull divs down here, then I might get interested in trading some alts. But for now, I'm hands off. And it's not because I think it's a bad idea. It's just I just don't have the mental bandwidth right now with all the stuff I got going on in life to be worrying about a billion different altcoin charts, right? how to set a stop loss correctly. You just make sure your stop loss needs to be where your idea becomes wrong for the trade, all right? Your stop loss needs to be where your idea becomes wrong for the trade. So for me, when I entered this trade here, my stop loss was right here, because when I gave it a little room. I think 54.3, give or take. This was my stop, my initial stop. Why? Because I know if we lose this low right here, then my idea is wrong, right? My idea was that we were getting bullish divergences on the 12-minute time frame as we came down to hold this POC, right? So as we came down to hold the POC, 12-minute bull divs. All right, that's why I entered it before I had a chance to post in the Discord. But Boyan gave the setup in advance in the Discord. Shout out to Boyan. Right, so we know where our idea is wrong. The idea is wrong if we lose that initial low. So that's how you know where to put your stop loss. And then your position size is determined based on your stop loss, right? So for every trade you take, you should be risking, I say 1%-ish, right? So if, let's say you know you're risking 1%, then however big that stop loss is will determine your position size. If you have a 1% stop loss, then you put your whole account on the trade, right? If you have $1,000 and you need a 1% stop loss base for your idea, let's say your invalidation is 1%, then you put $1,000 on your thing. But if your stop loss only needs to be 0.5%, let's say, then if you have $1,000, you put $2,000 on the trade. You do that by using leverage. It's not more risky to use the leverage because a 0.5% stop loss of $2,000 is still 1%. Let's say you're scalping and you only need a 0.25% stop loss. Well, then you can use Forex leverage and put $4,000 on the trade and still only risk 1%, right? So that's how you determine the stop loss. Where is your idea wrong? And then your position size is determined on your stop loss. The bigger the stop loss, the lower the position size, right? This is why you could take two trades, right? There could be two hypothetical trades. Trade number one is this right here, right? Let's talk about this trade here. All right, this is trade number one. And then trade number two is something like this, let's say. Right, trade number two is something like this. Right? You might think, which trade is going to make you more money? This trade or this trade? The reality is the smaller trade will make you more money because you're able to put more money on a trade with a smaller stop loss. And in this instance here, you're making 8 times more money than you're risking. In this instance here, you're only making 4 times more money than you're risking, right? So the smaller move can actually make you more money, you know, in the long run. Alrighty, all right. We've been live for about 45 minutes. All right, guys. Well, how do you move charts on a treadmill? I don't know. Where does Boyan post in the Discord? He has his own channel. He has one for crypto. He has one for futures. We're kind of an important backtest now, says Divine Hood. Yeah. It's important. I'm looking a little higher than this, but yeah, this is definitely important. This white box is either a liquidity grab or we could push up a little bit higher. All right. Shout out to InterCipher Gaming. Shout out to Osman Abe. Hope you make 100,000 live. Man, that would be nuts. I mean, the most I ever made in a single trade was, I think, around 100K. Was it in a single trade or was it in a single month? I forget. I think it was in a single trade. Nah. I don't think I've ever made have I made 6 figures in a trade? I don't know. I'm going to have to go look. there was a period of time there a few months ago where I was making 6 figures a month trading. Like, I was just in the zone, man. I was in the zone. A few months ago, if you guys are watching me, man, I don't even know how I was doing that. I was in some kind of zone for a while there, just with the trades. I'm easing back into it now, guys. I'm easing back into the trading now. All right, the ship is going down. All right, if the ship goes down, the ship goes down. That's how I look at it. All right, that's how I look at it. If the ship goes down, then the ship goes down, you know? Taking pages out of CryptoFace's book, man. Shout out to CryptoFace. But yeah, it is how it is. Like, honestly, I think all traders go through periods of where you're just in the zone and periods where you're not. And the past few months, I really haven't been trading very much. Last week, you guys saw my trades. I was fumbling around there. You know? Yeah, CryptoFace locked in $1 million yesterday. That's nuts, right? That is nuts. Have I ever closed a trade by mistake? Yep, absolutely. And it's the worst feeling in the world. It's the worst feeling in the world. But here's the thing, like, that's why risk management is so important, guys, and having a strategy is so important, because even when you're not in the groove, like I call it, like there is a groove, especially if you trade like an asset like Bitcoin, you get into the groove, I call it, where you just kind of like, you just kind of know. I don't know how else to explain it. There is a level of intuition. I hate to use that word because trading is not about intuition, but it kind of is, all right? There's something that happens where you just kind of are in the zone. You're so present at the charts, and it's not really. It's a good place to be. It's also a bad place to be because you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well. You get into like this super manic mode where like all you can do is think about trading and charts, and you just get in the groove of the Bitcoin price action, you know? Shout out to Thor, man. He hasn't sold any spot yet. Let's go, baby. All right. I appreciate that, Thor, because I'm only 20% out of my spot. As long as that monthly momentum wave stays above the 60 line on MarketCipher B, you know, then, you know, all right, Chip Chocolate says, he advises new traders to learn to trade ES and NASDAQ. Man, I hear that so much from people in my own group who don't trade crypto. Am I coming to the Billy Goat Tales space tonight? I don't know, man. Like, maybe. You know, I haven't been there in a while. Reason being, I've really been trying to get to bed early, but we'll see what happens. You know, sometimes when I'm up and he's doing his thing, I pop in there, you know? Am I long or short? The answer is yes. I'm long and short at the same time, all right? I'm in a massive swing short from $71.2, and I'm in a long from 54.5 something. And I'm also in a long from 59.727. Over yonder. Over here. Over here. Shout out to Dread Mining. He's all in on spot. Man, for your sake, I really hope that we pump, baby. And for my sake, too. I mean, like I said, I was down almost 7 figures on my portfolio back in I guess yesterday when we hit that low, man. That was nuts. That was nuts, all right? That was newts, man. But it's just how it is when you're holding a spot portfolio, right? It goes up like crazy, it goes down like crazy, you know? It goes up and down like crazy. It just is what it is. How much cardio do I do a day? Well, when I'm streaming like this, usually I get like 20,000 steps in a day. You know, out in the homestead, usually about 17 to 20,000 steps a day. Man, I'll tell you, walking that much every day is the cheat code to staying kind of lean, honestly. So, could you explain what's the strategy with having both long and shorts open at the same time? Yeah, I've made videos about this, but essentially, look, what you're doing is you're just putting yourself in a position where no matter what happens, you make money, right? So this swing trade, right? I've already hit take profits on it. Like, I've already made money on the trade. I've already made a lot of money on the trade. I opened it here. I took profits along the way down. I still have it open. The worst case scenario now for this trade, if it gets stopped out, is that I've made money on the trade, right? I've already made quite a bit of money on this trade. I think like $15,000, right? 15,000. So 15K. Worst case scenario, we get stopped out and I make $15,000, all right? Now, I'm also in a long trade. Now, let's say, for example, this long trade gets stopped out, all right, at the entry. Well, I've already made $1,000 on the trade, right? So no matter what, I've made $1,000 on the long trade. So if it gets stopped out, worst case scenario, I make $1,000. So the worst case scenario for my short is I make 15 grand. The worst case scenario for my long is I made 1 grand. Now, let's say, for example, we just dump like crazy. My long gets stopped out. I make 1 grand. Okay, $1,000. That's nothing to turn your nose up at. Well, now I'm up like 50 grand on my short, right? So I made money on the long. I'm still making money on my short. Or the opposite. Let's say the bottom's in. All right. Instead of stressing out about it, I've already made $1,000, and we pump like crazy. We go to $100,000. Okay, I made 15 grand on the short. Now I'm probably gonna be making 15, 20 grand on the long. You see? That's the benefit. What's not worth it is opening 2 trades from the same spot, right? If you open a long and short from the same spot, you're gonna lose, because first you got to pay that market fee, and then you're basically, whatever trade is winning is gonna take from. It's just gonna break even, basically. It's not worth it. Gold crashing, not a good sign. Shout out to FOM OG for the super chat. Hey, can you give a quick tutorial on MarketCipher B and the best time frames to use it? Man, I recommend you check out my YouTube channel. And I have a playlist of all just about MarketCipher, alright? I can't really do a quick tutorial on it, my friend. But if you go to my channel, and you go to playlists, I've got crypto trading strategies playlist. You know, I've realized I'll pop it in the YouTube chat, all right? Actually, can I reply to your super chat? Let me see. Yeah, I can. I'll reply to your super chat with the link, all right? Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Alright, shout out to Aura Gaming and Geometry. What is going on? Do I even MarketCipher A? Not really anymore. I don't really anymore, alright? Why don't you take profits? Your 30K, lock in something? Well, look, I've been locking in profits, alright? Literally, yesterday, I locked in 14K, alright? I locked in 14K yesterday because I closed out that short trade totally for about a $10,000 profit. I locked in $4,000 on this other long trade here, alright? 14K. Plus, I just made another 1,000 today. And I guess yesterday or the day before, I made 2,000 on a scalp long. So, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm up $17,000 on the week. To me, that's good enough. And I would rather hold a massive, juicy swing short from the top in case of massive black swan capitulation dump all the way down the Sheol and below than I would close it out and then have that bad feeling of FOMO of seeing my spot portfolio go down and not having anything going up in profit, right? There is something to be said about being short when the markets dump. I like to be short. I like being short. All right? When I was a kid, I hated being so tall. I was taller than everyone else, and it was kind of awkward, you know? I'm like 6'3", and I got real tall real early too. So I'm taller than everyone else. I'm like, man, I wish I was short. Well, trading has allowed me to just be short. Plus, you get paid the funding fee, right? You get paid just to hold the short trade open. So look, if I find myself in a bind, or tomorrow, if I don't take out this $30,000, otherwise something horrible will happen, then I'll take out the dang $30,000. But for now, I'd rather just hold it, man, you know? I'd rather just hodl it. Solomon says, I look tired, upset. Well, may the Lord grant me shalom and joy and peace. Shout out to Bernie's cat. She's 20 years old and had 6 teeth taken out yesterday. Shout out to the cat. All right, we got a bear div on the 12 now. All right, look, we got a bear div on the 12. We could see this thing come down. All right, we could see this thing come down. Let's check out our 12-minute. Yeah, we got that bear div going on the 12. Yeah, let's check it out. Money flow coming out too. Yeah, this could be a good little, honestly, a good little short. Right? This is another example of where you have a clear entry, invalidation, and if we're going to be analyzing this as one giant chunk of price action, right? This is our range, right? We could say value area high, support resistance flip is a good take profit one. We're going to be shooting to make 3 times more than we're risking, right? I'm not saying to take this trade. I'm just saying this is how you like find a setup, right? You got a 12-minute bear div. You say confirm 12-minute bear div, money flow coming down. All right, this gives me a reason to short. What's my entry, where we're at right now? What's my invalidation? Where am I wrong on my idea? If we come above the highs, where's my target going to be? It's going to be coming back down to this key support resistance flip at the value area high of the macro range, right? And if it doesn't work out, then on to the next one. Remember, if we're always taking trades like this, again, we're risking 1% to make 3%. You make 2 wins, you make 6%. 2 losses, you lose 2%. You're up 4% in total, right? 50% win rate, and you're still very profitable. You could be wrong half the time, and you're still profitable. You could be wrong 75% of the time and be break even. You have a 25% win rate and be break even that way. What about ByBit? I like ByBit, but it's hard to be trading on ByBit because it's so hard to log in with the VPNs. It's so strict. So it's rare that I have time to get into ByBit when I'm looking to open a trade, unless I'm already there. Shout out to my crypto goods. God bless you, bro. What's the name of these beats? These are called Chill Synth FM Lo-Fi Synthwave Radio for Retro Dreaming. Now, 2 days ago, I did not get a copyright, but yesterday I did get a copyright. And I think it depends on what songs are playing at the time. So this is not royalty free. So my videos are being demonetized for it. But you know what? I can't find any music on here without getting demonetized. I need to make a playlist from, what do I have? I pay for some stupid, like, free, royalty-free music thing. I don't even use it. What an idiot! Alright, what an idiot. Alright, this is why this is not financial advice, guys. Alright, this is why this is not financial advice. Advice. All right, Media Nation, may God bless you in Jesus' name, bro. How do you know how much leverage to use? Leverage doesn't really matter. I've also made videos about this. Search for Jason Casper leverage trading. All right, search for Jason Casper leverage trading. All right, we're coming down to the VWAP. All right, we're coming down to VWAP here. 55,604. The VWAP popping right through the dough. Let's set a little alert when we come down to VWAP, if we do. Yeah, search for Jason Casper and leverage. 5-minute CBD div. Let's check it out. I don't really see it. Oh, I mean, I guess I saw this thing down here. This looked bullish at the time, right? But it was on a decrease of OI. You talking about this right here, maybe? I don't know. I don't really see a div. I'll be honest with you. So sorry. Maybe I'm too dumb. I might be too dumb to see it. All right. Everyone's hating on people shorting. I mean, honestly, I don't understand why people hate on shorting. Guys, we're here to make money, okay? I understand. It's not the shorters that make the dang price go down, all right? It's not the leverage shorters that make the price go down. It's like the whales that are taking profit and other things, right? But yeah, leverage trading, the harsh truth. Leverage literally doesn't matter as long as you have a stop loss that fits in how much leverage you're using, right? So in this instance here, a 0.68% stop loss, right? Technically speaking, you could use 100x leverage to trade this without any risk of liquidation, because if you use 100x leverage, depends on the exchange. I'm not recommending to do this, but on most exchanges, 100x leverage, you'll get liquidated after like a 0.79% move, all right? They're not going to let it go a full 1%. So it's very, you gotta be careful. But I'm just going based on the numbers. If you're really entering a trade with a stop loss of 0.6%, and you're actually using the stop loss, and your position size is enough money where if the stop loss gets hit, you're only risking your 1%. Leverage is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. But go watch my videos about leverage, because people misunderstand leverage, and I am convinced that 99% of YouTubers that are out there to teach you about leverage don't trade. Or if they do, they only trade on spot. Because they don't understand what leverage is. They always act like it's gambling. They're like, yeah, it can increase your wins, but also your losses. It's like, yeah, if you're gambling, if you say I have $1,000, now let me use 100x leverage to put 100K on a trade. Yeah, that's gambling, and that's will increase your, that they'll make it really easy to lose that $1,000 real quick after a 1% move. But let's say you have $1,000 and you're using 100x leverage, right? Just for example, let's say you have your trade setup requires a 0.5% stop loss, meaning your idea becomes wrong after 0.5% move against you. If I'm using 100x leverage and I have $1,000, right? I could put $2,000 onto this trade with 100x leverage turned on. And when that gets stopped out, I will lose $10, right? Because it's all about position size. It's not about the leverage, it's about position size. What are some reasons to use higher leverage? Number one, not keeping all your money on the exchange. I do not keep my capital on the exchange. Heck no. I keep enough capital on the exchange to enter 1, 2, maybe 3 trades. And then I take everything else off. All right? Another reason to use leverage. You're trading multiple pairs at the same time. And each pair, you're opening trades risking a certain percent. Let's say you're trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink, right? Trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. And so if you enter 3 trades, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink, right? Now, let's say you have $1,000 in your account and you're trading all from the same account, 3 different pairs. If each trade needs a 1% stop loss, that means you're going to be putting $1,000 on each trade, but you only have $1,000 in your account. So how the heck are you going to trade 3 pairs unless you're using leverage, right? And now let's say you're trading multiple pairs and you're not keeping all your capital on the exchange. Now you might be using 10, 15x. Sometimes I put it on, I like to put it on high leverage because it's sensational, right? But in reality, I'm never risking more than I should be risking on the leverage, right? Honestly, I prefer to use, you know, like 25x is where I typically keep it. I'm not putting my money on exchange, and I'm typically never going to take a trade that has more than like a 4% stop loss, right? 4% stop loss. So for me, a 4% stop loss, that's a big stop loss. So 25x leverage with a 1.5% stop is not risky at all. It's only risky if you don't use your stop, or if you gamble and don't put the right position size on the dang trade, you know? So I hope that makes sense. I know these concepts are a little bit hard to grasp, but these are things you should know. These are things that you should understand thoroughly before you even start trading. Like, before you even start trading, you should understand risk management. Because I'll tell you, even with a small size, over time, you can be profitable, and you can work your way up to some good stuff. Shout out to My Crypto Goods. Trades better when I'm live on YouTube. Well, that's cool, man. Shout out to Crypto Incognito. Shout out to Kalechi. He says leverage only matters if you're completely liquidated before price hits your stop loss. Exactly. Exactamundo, my man. Chip Chocolate, I only use 100x on Bitcoin. Scared money, don't make no money. Shout out to Crypto Face. What exchange am I currently using? I am trading on BLOFIN, MEXC, and BingX and ByBit right now, and ZOOMEX. Those are all the exchanges I'm trading, all right? I have pinned links in the comment section for the exchange that I have. There's like sign-up bonuses and all that stuff. Also, if you want to join the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where we gave the long in advance this morning. Actually, 2 of us did. Actually, maybe more of us did. I only saw Boyens and myself. And the short in advance from this exact level that we're rejecting from. You can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. Best trading community in the world. And honestly, like I always say, I really think it is the best trading community in the world. Because for the price, you get so much dang value. We got multiple instructors giving you their live streams every single day, their ideas, their setups for multiple assets at all times of day, right? Morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night. Plus, we got a whole beginner's course in here. And it's the friendliest, most active trading community in the world, I think, right? Of course, I haven't seen all communities out there, but check it out, jasoncaspertrading.com. All right, shout out to Victorious One, who says rum with a whole bunch of steaks. Shout out to Clay the Great in the chat. Shout out to Fireaway Productions. Am I leaning more bullish? That 62K level? Yeah, man. I do want to see that level. I do want to see that level. All right. I do want to see that level. Alrighty. Alrighty. Alright, guys. I'm going to head out because it's been an hour and I got some stuff to do on the homestead. But may God bless everybody in Jesus' name. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are very blessed in multiple ways. And I will see you guys soon. Peace.